morning. Morning Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning Barbados, good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today. Today is Tuesday, the 11th of November, 2025, and I'm Pearson Bowen, as always. Welcome to the start of a brand new day filled with possibilities waiting for you to achieve. And so I want to encourage you to see those opportunities and make the most of them as they come. If you walk on by, they will walk on by you too. So don't miss the chance for you to mean something meaningful to someone and mean something meaningful to yourself as well. So welcome to all, one and all. If you're watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, cbc.bb, to all of you, welcome. You've made a great choice this morning. I ask one thing of you: share the show, tell everyone else about us, let them come along to be a part of what we do Monday to Friday from 6 in the morning. As you talk among yourselves, also talk to us. And if you know of someone whose story has to be told, I'd like you to tell us. Send us an email. The email address is on your screen. It is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. morninbarbados@cbc.bb. And to all of you, thank you for faithfully doing so. You have been most obedient, and so I congratulate you on doing so. Remember, this is November. It is our month of nationhood when we're celebrating 59 years this year. So later on in the show, as we celebrate 59, there's an opportunity for you to win, but perhaps completing one of our Bajan proverbs. And let's see how really truly Bajan you are. This boy is a Bajan, and this boy has not yet tasted a conky for the month. That's a travesty, don't you think? It is, after all, one of our favorite delicacies in November. And what are y'all doing about that, you makers of conkeys? I don't care if it has raisins or not. I don't care if it has cherries or not. I don't care, because I just love it. So I want to encourage all of you to get cracking, doing the things that identify us as who we are. And so let's not waste the time. It's already the 11th. Month is almost halfway done. And so where are the conkeys? Where are the conkeys? So conky makers, let's get cracking. This conky consumer is waiting on you. Indeed. So let's go. Let's do this together, folks. All right. So today in our conversations on CARICOM, lest we forget, because life is as it is, we tend to put things aside and we move on to the next thing. As you know, that massive Hurricane Melissa has impacted our neighbors to the north of us. And so we want to hear what's been going on. We want to see how we can help. We'll delve into that when I have our conversations on CARICOM in just a moment. We'll also sit with one of the world's 500 most influential Muslims. Who is this one I'm talking to? He's from Barbados. We'll introduce you to him, talk his story, and find out how did we get on that list? And so a whole lot more we'll celebrate with him when he joins me in just a little while. Also, the Barbados Consul General in New York joins us to talk a little bit about his tenure there and how Bajans are accessing the services at the consulate in New York. The Queen Elizabeth Hospital is embarked on celebrating its 61st anniversary, and the Chief Executive Officer, Neil Clark, will sit with us this morning as we want to hear about the improvements so far to the hospital and the ways in which they're marking that significant milestone. And before the show is ending, and remember, I have a chance for you to win, so don't touch your dial. Don't go anywhere at all, because that opportunity comes your way in just a little while. So this morning, let's get started in our conversations on CARICOM as we turn our attention, and repeatedly so, to what's happening with Melissa. Joining me is Barbados Ambassador to CARICOM, His Excellency David Comishong, and he's brought along some of those places that have been impacted. And Ambassador, I'll let you introduce our guests as well, but good morning to you.
Morning, Pearson. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. It's good that we are having this particular discussion, because truth be told, at the heart of the Caribbean integration movement is the notion of collective security. And where do we need collective security most of all? Well, in responses to disasters like Hurricane Melissa. So I've brought along with me, as we know, the three countries most affected by Hurricane Melissa were Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba. So I brought along with me my colleague, Her Excellency Janet Stabu, Cuba's ambassador to Barbados.
Good morning.
And Mrs. Ella Hoyos, Jamaica's honorary consul to Barbados. And I think she's one of the veteran honorary consuls
Yes.
by this time. So we really want to talk about what's been happening with the relief. I don't know if we can say reconstruction yet, because reconstruction might not really have started yet, but the Hurricane Melissa relief efforts in Cuba, Jamaica, and Haiti as well.
Lest we forget, I want to put into context what happened. Massive storm, Category 5. I'm starting with Jamaica. Massive storm, Category 5 on your doorsteps, Ambassador, Honorary Consul. And so, talk to me a little bit about how Jamaicans prepared, and then what Jamaicans faced after she hit.
So, thank you for that introduction, and thank you, Ambassador Commissioner, for inviting me along. This is a topic that's obviously very near and dear to my heart at this time. Jamaica, like the rest of the Caribbean, watched this monster approach. And everyone was commenting, from the meteorologists to the people on the ground, about how slow moving it was and how much it was building strength. So the government, the emergency response team on the ground, they really utilized the traditional and social media by saying to Jamaicans, get ready for this. This is serious and it is coming. It's slow moving, but it's coming. So the airwaves were just pushing that message out there. And indeed, I would say, by and large, most people took it seriously. And we take it seriously because, 37 years ago, there was Gilbert. Also packing, 175 miles an hour wind, so we would had that experience. But not only that, the people on the south coast of Jamaica, unfortunately, the coast hit again, were still in the throes of recovering from Beryl. And I don't know how much you know about Jamaica, but that is what we refer to typically as the breadbasket of Jamaica. That is the parish that feeds Jamaica, where you would get all the ground provision, the vegetables, the fruits, the watermelons, everything. On a Thursday or Friday, truckloads of produce leave the south coast to go all over Jamaica to feed Jamaica. So those farmers were still in the throes of recovering. And now we have this monster bearing down on us. So, as much as you could prepare for that, everyone was mobilized. When I spoke to relatives, friends, government officials in Jamaica, they were like, we are bracing for this, but it doesn't look good. And they were right.
And so, after its impact, what was the look of that area you just described of Jamaica?
It was as if someone had detonated a bomb on Jamaica, because she sat over Jamaica, Melissa, and just churned and churned and churned. And so I think for the people on the ground, the accounts I've heard and read, it was horrific. Nightmarish, nothing that you could have ever imagined. But for the people on the outside watching, it was sheer terror. I just presumed that everybody was dead, because it was we'd never seen anything like that, and it wasn't moving. It sat and churned, and I thought for sure everybody's dead. And so, of course, the natural consequence of a disaster like that is that it's going to take out your infrastructure. So electricity, communications, water, everything went. So it's done its worst, and we have no way of knowing what that worst is for a few days. I personally have family in that area, and I have to tell you, they were the worst 3 days of my life, because I feared the worst. And so, if I may be so bold as to say, speaking about collective learning, that's the first thing I would say for every island, your first responders must have that satellite phone. They must have the ability to communicate after the disaster. It just has to be part of the kit now. You can't wait for the communication network to be restored. You must at least be able to communicate that we're alive. Because by some miracle, one stream of internet went through, and when I first got that news 3 days later that my family was alive, that was just the most amazing thing. And then for me, I just felt it was my duty to find out as much as is possible who's alive so I could bring hope to other people, because everybody was sharing in that collective, anxiety.
I can't imagine for just, you talked about infrastructure, you're quite right, because the images we saw, everything was flattened. And we could not then imagine what were the people doing, because you're going to be, no doubt, wandering the streets looking for shelter, looking for some safe haven, and just looking for someone who could hug you, to help you with your coping with this mentally and emotionally. So the despair has to be shocking. And one asks oneself often, how do they pull this back together so that you begin to create cities and communities? And we're looking at some images of what that were sent to us by one of those who was connecting with us all the while. Hospital roof lifted, buildings destroyed, roads dug up, crops flattened, no water, no electricity, nothing to which we've grown accustomed available. And so people were just desperate for food, desperate for shelter, desperate for sustenance, desperate for medication, desperate. That's the word I keep insisting. And so one wonders what to do. Ambassador, how did CARICOM, and what can CARICOM, or what is CARICOM doing to assist Jamaica?
Well, I mean, the good thing about CARICOM is that CARICOM recognized many years ago that one of its chief functions had to be to put in place institutions and mechanisms to respond to disasters like this. So we have one of our institutions, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, which is really like an umbrella body for all of the national disaster response agencies, like our Department of Emergency Management. Similarly, Jamaica has a similar entity in Jamaica, and CDEMA is kind of the umbrella body, but it's located here. And fortunately, about a year ago, CDEMA, in collaboration with the World Food Program, established this emergency hub here in Barbados, this massive warehouse where they stored supplies that would be required once a disaster hit. So CDEMA was able to get off the ground very quickly. Immediately, the hurricane had passed Jamaica, sending emergency supplies into Jamaica. But CDEMA also plays the role of coordinating the response. So CDEMA has responsibility for coordinating all of the international agencies, all of the international and regional NGOs that typically respond. They send in assessment teams to start doing what Ella just spoke about, the need to go in, to have experts to go and visit the scene, to assess the damage and to assess the immediate needs and so forth. So that has been happening. Barbados, and in addition to CDEMA and the CDEMA supplies, various CARICOM countries also make their own national efforts to help the affected member state. So we have been doing that in relation to Jamaica, in relation to Haiti, that are both members of CARICOM. Cuba, on the other hand, is a different case, because Cuba, not being a member state of CARICOM, Cuba does not, and not being a member of CDEMA, Cuba does not benefit from, all of those CDEMA arrangements. And so individual CARICOM countries have been making their own effort to assist Cuba. The Barbados government is one. So there is in addition to all that has happened since the hurricane hit and the putting into action the regional disaster response mechanisms. And let me say, before I forget, we have to give a lot of credit to the United Nations system. We often hear a lot of loose talk about, we could get rid of the United Nations. Nonsense. Because when you look at the organizations responding, whether it's the World Food Program, Food and Agriculture Association, UNICEF, UNDP, the UN Population Fund, if we did not have those entities, we would have to invent them. So CDMA works with all of them. But I want to make the point that before we go too far into the show, that one of the reasons we wanted to have this discussion this morning is to let Bajans know that there's very much still an urgent need for us to make contributions to the disaster response effort in relation to Jamaica, Cuba, and Haiti, and that the government has set up an account where I went on Friday. I went to my bank on Friday. I made my donations. I want Bajans to know there is an account. I think CBC has the information, and we would want to share the information. But there's the Hurricane Melissa Relief Jamaica account, Hurricane Melissa Relief Haiti account, Hurricane Melissa Relief Cuba account. And you can go to any of your bank. You can go to your bank, your credit union, and I think we will give the account number, but you can make financial donations. But in addition to that, we are also taking donations of physical items, and I know there are different organizations that are doing their own collections, but the government is doing a collection at the Bridgetown Port, at the Pelican House, Building 14, the Harbour Industrial Park. That's the warehouse just before you actually enter the port on the right. And you can go there and make your deliveries Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we really want that information to get out there. You're making physical donations of physical supplies for all three countries, and if you want to indicate which country you want them to go to, you just give that indication to the staff there, and you also can make financial donations to all three countries.
All right, and so Ambassador Stable, here was the churn of which Consul Hoyer spoke about. You were keeping that in sight because Cuba was next in line.
Yes.
And we've all grown over time to know of the resiliency of Cuba. Because somehow you've got a mechanism in place that secures life, limb, everything else. Talk to me about the impact of Melissa on Cuba.
So, good morning to all. Thank you so much for having us. And I want to thank the Ambassador Commission for this invitation. It was a huge impact. And we are next to Jamaica, so we receive all the winds, the impact of the winds and raining, and the flooding was affecting a lot of the country. So the impact was very serious and extensive damage as well in infrastructure and in agriculture, of course, and it impact fundamentally in 4 provinces in Cuba, in the eastern part of the country, in Santiago de Cuba, Guantanamo, Granma, and Holguín. But I have a very good news: no death, no injured person as a result of the impact of Hurricane Melissa. So we are very happy and very comfortable with this news. We have a very strong civil defense system in Cuba to inform people before the impact of the hurricane or another natural phenomenon. And after the impact of this hurricane, we have all the system that has a very good mechanism to inform people and to take care of them. This is the most important thing, this take care of the human lives in Cuba. So it was during the last 2 weeks before the impact of the hurricane, people was being informed about the possibilities to receive the impact of this phenomenon, and the people prepared for this situation. We have a huge experiences about the impact of hurricane or other this kind of phenomena in Cuba, so we have been established this mechanism and preparing people for this. So, and the impact will cause very, very extensive damage in houses, in infrastructure, hospitals, schools, everything. More than 1 million people were protected. Of these, more than 700,000 people were evacuated before the impact of hurricane. And currently, we have more than 54 people remain evacuated, and 7,500 of them in state centers. Because, of course, persons, families protect people in the neighborhood in more secure houses or secure places. But the state has the main responsibility, and they evacuated more than 54,000 people. And as I said, damages affected homes, infrastructure, the agricultural sector, and essential services. The main types of damages was in the destruction in 70,000 homes, and 4,000 of them collapsed, and as well hundreds of thousands of hectares of damaged crops. So in this moment, we are in the restoring everything, trying to restoring the everything. School is starting to function in Cuba, but the majority of people remain in these state centers to be protected. But we are trying, and we receive we have to thank and express our deep gratitude to the United Nations organizations. They released almost $74 million to help Cuba, and in this moment, we have almost $11 million has been released for the protection of people and for the help, the assistance of people with food and medicine, and other sister countries and other system people, that is the fundamental thing, has been helping, assisting Cuba, sending supplies of medicine and food, and we already received assistance from Venezuela, for example, our brother country, our brother people of Venezuela, Colombia, India, some European countries as well as Germany, Norway, and some others. And from the Cuban living abroad, this is important because Cuba has been expressing the solidarity with their own people. And in Cuba, people are collecting items and making some financial contribution through some banking accounts. So this is having a very huge effort from many organizations, from many people to assist the Cuba in this particular and very sad situation that we have been confronted.
Pearson, can I say that, just to pay a tribute to Cuba, Cuba is really the world champion of knowing how to organize for and respond to this kind of disaster. In fact, there were no casualties in Cuba. There were no deaths in Cuba, and that's a testimony to their level of organization, where they evacuated hundreds of thousands of people. And in Cuba, when the government issues an evacuation notice, it is mandatory. It's not like you could decide,
mandatory.
I am staying. That's the difference between Cuba and Jamaica, because there are some people who defied in Jamaica the government's evacuation notice. So there have been 43 deaths in Haiti, 32 in Jamaica, zero in Cuba. And we in CARICOM, we are very conscious of this strength that Cuba has, so much so that earlier this year, a team from our own Department of Emergency Management actually went to Cuba to learn from the Cubans the best techniques for responding to disasters. And we should also give some kudos to Jamaica, because Jamaica has been a pioneer in terms of putting in place financial mechanisms to get off to a quick start once a disaster hits. I mean, in 2021, Jamaica pioneered this catastrophe bond, which, with the help of the World Bank, they launched. And as a result of having that bond, Jamaica was able to get an immediate payment of $150 million, which, yes, it will be a drop in the bucket in terms of the reconstruction, but very critical funds to kickstart the relief effort. And Jamaica is also a member of the CRIF, the Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility. This is this unique insurance facility that the CARICOM governments pioneered several years ago. It is headquartered in the Cayman Islands, and it offers these parametric policies where you don't have to wait to do an assessment after the disaster hits to see what the damage was before you get a payout. Once there was rainfall of a certain intensity, wind speeds of a certain intensity, they do the calculation. This is what the damage is likely to be, and you get payouts within 14 days. So Jamaica is in line to pocket about $90 million thus far from the CRIF. So I just want to make the point that we Caribbean countries, we are not just some hapless victims. We have taken this business about dealing with these natural disasters very seriously. We are world leaders. Barbados is a world leader in terms of the debt pause clauses. You put the debt pause clauses into your borrowing instruments so that if a disaster hits, you can pause your debt payments for 2 years. So we need to make the point that we are very proactive. We have been doing things to try to protect ourselves, but of course, we are on the front line of this climate crisis. These hurricanes are getting more and more violent and severe every year, and this is why we are pressing so hard that the big countries of the world that really cause this climate crisis need to do a lot more. When disasters like this happen, to be fair to us, there should be much more support, international support from some of these big countries that really, have caused the problem. And truth be told, sometimes when you look at the amount of assistance that some of these major industrial countries are giving, it is. I want to use the word disgraceful, but I won't use that word. But really and truly, it is not fair to us. And kudos to the Caribbean governments and people who have been very proactive and are showing leadership in this whole area of dealing with disasters.
I know, viewers, you hear the words $90 million, you think that's a lot. It's much, but it's never enough. Just imagine for just a moment that your house was demolished. How soon do you think you can have your house rebuilt? Imagine houses being demolished in the country. What do you think it takes to have those rebuilt? How long do you think that can happen? What do you think is the ongoing need of those who have been impacted by that devastation, from potable water, drinking water, to access to medication, to a little bit of cash so you can live dignified, to be able to, as an adult, do and choose to do what you want to do.
Billions of dollars, Pearson.
Billions of dollars.
We're really talking billions. So I don't want anybody to be confused. When I speak about this 150 million and 90 million, that is just to kickstart the relief effort. When you're talking about reconstruction for Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, we are actually talking billions of dollars.
Right.
So we have a long, long road ahead of us. And
Correct.
all of us in the Caribbean, we have to contribute to
And
that
I
effort.
want, just a second, I want to spread our deep, deep gratitude to the people of Barbados for having this initiative, to the government of Barbados for having this initiative to assist the people, the brother countries and sister countries, people from Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba, and we are very grateful with this initiative and with these efforts from Barbados.
Consistently, because I think when we had Gilbert, it was the same thing. The first shipment arrived from Barbados. I never forgot that. And so the sense of solidarity that we have had with our CARICOM neighbors has been truly heartwarming. And for our viewers in Barbados, I would just say, if you want to imagine what it's like, imagine waking up one day and the entire Oistins town is gone, removed from the face of Barbados. Every landmark you once knew, every home, every shop, every public building is gone. That is the scale of it multiplied by 4 for Jamaica, because the parishes hit 4 of the southwestern parishes: St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, going over into Trelawney. So it's that entire western tip of the island, which, if you again are familiar with Jamaica, the tourism belt loops around there. So it's critical areas of our economy and our lifestyle as we knew it just wiped out. I go back to Black River because it's such a historic town. It's a special little place on the south coast of Jamaica, where the first home that had electricity, the first motor car. It's quite a historical place. There was a 200-year-old parish church standing right there on the beachfront. Gone. The hospital, gone. But the government has been very proactive in its relief efforts. They have constructed a field hospital in Black River, for example, to respond to that point of the island, and they're replicating that. The first responders on the ground, the aid that came in, 2 ships left Barbados that Thursday and Friday, one French, one Dutch, and they were heading up with the supplies. So we cannot, in all good conscience, complain about the response of our neighbors, of the international community, because the task ahead is so gargantuan, to use the word. You know, where do we begin? But no one is wringing their hands. We're just saying this is the reality. And collectively, I think CARICOM is saying, yes, this is what a hurricane, a disaster will look like, or could look like in the future for us. For all the reasons that Ambassador Commission said, you know, global warming and climate change is a reality, and this is what it means in Caribbean terms, that life as you know it in the twinkling of an eye could be wiped out, and all the plans you've put in place, all the strategies that you've engaged, I mean, 150 million US dollars, 90 million US dollars, you think, yes, that's recovery, but that's like your little mobilization fund. But at least you have it. So you're not sitting there waiting for the first relief to come here. Like, yes, let's be proactive about how we're going to start this process. And, you know, let's see how we can help each other to just pull our bootstraps up and start the rebuilding process, because that's what you have to do. People's lives and their livelihood have been wiped out, and you just have to give them hope.
Hope. And there's another word you used, solidarity. And that's where we're asking you folks, let's stand in solidarity. I know it's a word that Cuba knows ever so well. Let's stand in solidarity with our neighbors to the north of us who have been touched, barely touched, but devastated. The information where you can make your financial donations is on your screen. Look to your screens right now, screenshot it, look back at the show, do what you have to do, and then you take an action and you go make your financial contributions to what's needed. The account numbers for Hurricane Melissa Relief Jamaica, Haiti, and Cuba, that information is on your screen. But of course, you can make donations in kind of the critical items. You know what babies need. You know what people who are diabetic need. You know what people who are just wanting to get back and clean up, whether it's equipment or otherwise, that need is. You know this, Barbados. And so you can make the donation at Pelican.
Yes, Pelican House, Building 14, Harbour Industrial Park. And again, that's the warehouse on the right, just before you actually enter the port. And I would like to say that the Cuban authorities have made a very special request. They're stressing that what they really need are dry food items such as powdered milk, wheat flour, rice, and beans. So it's a very special request coming from Cuba for those particular items. But as you indicated, Pearson, use your common sense. You know the kinds of items that people are going to need. And please, Bajans, we are already doing well, but let's keep the effort going and let's enhance it, because as we can never give enough, because our brothers and sisters in these three countries really have a massive task on their hands to recover and to rebuild.
We can do this together. We surely can.
Pearson,
Yes,
can I
please.
just add that the Jamaica Association of Barbados has also launched an island-wide collection drive. And I just wanted to give the information.
Sure.
The points where you can make a drop of any relief supplies would be Jamaica 246, the restaurant at Warren's, the Guild of Students at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus, Woolworths in Bridgetown, the Jamaican Consulate on Golf Club Road, Rockley, and Massey 6 Roads, Emerald City. So we have tried to cover the island as much as possible to make convenient drop-off points. And as the ambassador said, we prefer to have dry goods, the traditional hurricane reliefs, as you say. You know what babies need: hygiene kits, water purification tablets, tarpaulin. We can't get enough tarpaulin. Just buy all the tarp, because all the homes are roofless, and that blue tarp is going to become a dot on our landscape for at least the next 2 years. So as much as you can bring, we can take it. Water, just drinking water. We need as much as that as you can give. Feminine hygiene products, babies' diapers. Barbadians have responded. We are not doing a clothing drive. One was done, and a massive amount of clothing was collected at the bank's visitor center, and that is being packaged now for shipment. But we're not doing a clothing drive per se. It's not. There is a needs list. There is a website as well. It's supportjamaica.gov.jm. supportjamaica.gov.jm, and there you can make donations in cash or kind. But on the ground in Barbados, we have set up these collection points to make sure it's easier for Barbadians to just make a donation. And they have, the people have just called. The outpouring has been so generous and so thoughtful, and for that we are entirely grateful and indebted to our neighbors in Barbados for being so responsive. And I'm sure it's the same for Cuba and Haiti, because the need is great.
It is truly great, and it's going to be long term. It's going to take time. That's why we should not tire in our giving, We should give really for the depth of who we are as people, with compassion and care and love, not just for self, but for those who are like us, who live to the north of us indeed. And so let's reach out to our neighbors and give. And you can give at the bank accounts we shared with you. You can make your drop-offs at what Consul Hoyos just shared with you at the many locations which the Jamaica Association of Barbados they have, or you can make it at Pelican as well.
Israel Lowell Foundation as well.
And also the Israel
Yes,
Foundation.
in the
You
case
can
of Cuba.
indicate the destination you like your contribution to go to. And we really do say a big thank you for doing so. We know you feel it. Share this with as many people as possible. Every day share it. Every day remind them the need is great, and so we need to give more today. If you say that every single day, and you can encourage everyone every day to continue giving, we can get to the land of promise a lot quicker indeed. I want to thank you for being so generous in your donation as well. Ambassador, thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you, Pearson. Thank you.
My pleasure indeed. Your Excellency Janet Stable, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Ambassador from
thank you.
Cuba. And the Consul Ella Hoyos, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for
You're very
having me.
welcome. Morning Barbados comes back in just a moment.
Barbados, thank you so much. As you can see, we're still here. People are still coming in. The response has been incredible. We started off with this one room, thought that was going to be it. Full up. We've moved to our next room, full up, moved to 2 other bathrooms in there, and then moved to the back of this center. Thank God the Banks Visitor Center is this big, but thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My island loves you, Barbados. You guys are honorary Jamaicans right now. Thank you so much.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely, and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
15 minutes now to go to 7 o'clock. Imagine there are 2.1 billion Muslims in this world. 2.1 billion Muslims. And of that 2.1 billion, there's one of them who finds his name on the list of 500 most influential Muslims in the world. And he's from Barbados. And you know him. His name is Suleiman Bulbulia. He joins me now. Good morning to you, Suleiman.
Good morning, thank you.
But I frame it like that, and you look at it really, this must really feel like quite an honor to you.
I'm overwhelmed, and let me thank you for bringing me on your show this morning to talk about it. It's an honor for me, but I think it's an honor for Barbados, a small island in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, and to be recognized among Muslims in the world. It's truly an honor. I'm humbled, and I think that it brings spotlight onto Barbados, and for me, it's not only about me. It's about bringing spotlight onto Barbados in a good way, in a positive light. So I was happy and elated with the news when I was actually I didn't even know I was on the list until someone called me from Peru. Yes. Someone I work with, a colleague in the space, and he called and he said, "Congratulations." I said, "For what?" He said, "You're listed among the 500 most influential Muslims in the world." I said, "Wow, I didn't even know."
Because I wanted to know how you got on in the first place, but you don't even know, do you?
So, well, yes. So you are nominated. So I was nominated by another good friend out of South America. We've worked together for many years. A brother in faith, and I respect him a lot. He's a scholar of Islam, and he nominated me based on his interactions and experience. And he did send forward a nomination, but I didn't know I was selected. I didn't even know. They didn't even inform me that it was. So it was truly an honor, and I'm humbled.
And so, as you said, you went on and you saw, wait, hold on, I know this name, that's my name. And it says Barbados, so it can only be me. Yeah. But from the region, there were just two of you.
Yes, so two new entrants. Right. We have had a Trinidadian in the list for a number of years. So this is, every year the publication comes out, so I'm listed in the 2026. And there's one other Caribbean person who's been there for a few years, a scholar of Islam also. But two new entrants for the region, and that's President Dr. Muhammad Irfan Ali. So I'm happy to share that spotlight with such an outstanding personality, right, of Guyana.
Yes. So, is this a reflection of your work over time?
I believe it is. I know that in the nomination process, you have to submit what you have done over years. I guess they would have done their own research as well. So I believe that throughout the years, what I have done and persons who have done it with me, I mean, it's not me doing it alone, has contributed to getting to this point. Yeah, so it's a lot of work, yes.
And that body of work is now recognized. And so reflect for just a moment of the things you have done. I know it's difficult sometimes to just list them because you just do it.
Yes, correct.
You know, but what for you perhaps are some of those things that you were nominated in and that people perhaps didn't even realize it was you who was at work?
So I spent 23 years as the secretary of the Barbados Muslim Association. I transitioned from that role in 2023. In those 23 years, it meant that I did a lot of work in terms of building up the image of the Muslim community, working with NGOs, working with government, regional and international as well as local. So it helped propel me to be in spaces that perhaps I would not have been otherwise. So I'm grateful to that opportunity to have been the secretary of the association for 23 years and working in that space and working with Muslims and non-Muslims and persons of different faiths to build out a better image, a better understanding, build out a better society. So that's one of them, I believe, that 22 years. But even before that, I have been involved from a young age. I was reflecting recently that I was on campus as a very young person at 17, coming straight from foundation school into University of the West Indies. And we actually, December this year will be 40 years that we started the Muslim Students Association on campus. 5 of us, one from Montserrat, one from Trinidad, one from Dominica, and 2 of us from Barbados. So it's work that has been going on. It's something that I love. I have a passion about it, but it's beyond faith also. It's how do you bring communities together? How do you work with everybody to bring development and communities together?
And in that, your passion is rooted. But what was it that inspired you to even think for a second, you know, I could mobilize my passion in this way to form this association and to do all of these kinds of things?
My faith teaches me that. My faith teaches me that I have to be an outstanding person in the faith. I have to be an outstanding person in the community. You have to give back. You have to leave something behind. You know, they said, leave the world a better place than you found it. That is what drives me. So my faith teachings drive me to leave the world a better place than what I have found it. And so that's what I live by every day. How do I make lives better for others? How do I make lives better for our community? What do we need to do? What are the pressing needs? And not everything I can do or we can do, but we try to do a little at a time.
There's some who will look at that and say, but that sounds like hard work. That sounds like, you know, you're having to wake up to worry about someone else's concerns.
Yes.
Did you view it that way anytime?
No, I've never found it as hard work. I mean, interacting with a global community, which is sometimes hours ahead, 2 o'clock in the morning, you're getting a phone call from Saudi Arabia or a phone call from the Emirates saying that we want this or we want that, and we want you to write a report. So it's not hard work, because at the end of the day, you see it as giving something back, and you see it as helping others and bringing about a spotlight on your country as a small country. And as I travel, I always made sure and say, I'm from Barbados. You know, everybody will say, where's Barbados? Right? Where's Barbados? And I have to peg it with like Jamaica or Cuba or South America. You know, you have to do that. But then it begins, awareness then comes.
And a lot of the work you're doing here on the ground as well, because you've written a book that talks about the contribution of your faith through worship. Let's talk a little bit more about that book.
So I co-authored a book with Sabir Nakuda, Historic Mosque of Bridgetown, and we together felt it was important to document that history. One of the mosques is 75 years in January, the one in Kensington New Road. The one in Sobers Lane is over 60 years. And how we wanted to document the history, what led to the development of these two places of worship in the heart of Bridgetown, in a street that a lot of people even don't know about now, Sobers Lane, right? If you ask a Barbadian where's Sobers Lane, a lot of people think, well, I don't know where Sobers Lane is. So the mosque was been there like since 1957, right? And it's our forefathers. My father was one of the persons that helped build that mosque. How do we document that story and leave it for future generations so that they don't have to struggle to find the history? It's there, it's written, and they can then build upon that story. So it was important for us to document it, not only for our faith and our people in our faith, but for all Barbadians to understand that the mosques there are representative of a community that was migrant. They came as immigrants from India since the early 1900s, and then they started to lay their roots on their foundation. As I said at the launch, you know, these two mosques represent desire of the persons who came to set roots in Barbados. It wasn't about coming here for a few years and going back. It's about setting roots, because Barbados was for them their home. And I'm now laying my roots by building my spaces of worship. And so the two mosques are historic. One is recognized as a building of national significance by the National Trust. And so we want to build upon that history.
Your faith is part of your discipline.
Yes.
And your discipline guides you every single day to have people at the forefront of your head in everything you do.
Yeah.
Your trajectory from Christchurch Foundation School into the University of the West Indies, into the world generally, did you see that?
No.
Okay, what did you see
I did not
as a little boy from Christchurch
I
Foundation?
did not see that. I was telling some persons on Sunday actually that I was very shy at school, and they can believe me. So you're the most influential, you're shy at school. I was a shy person. But it's about having an idea of where you want to be and kind of working towards it. But I mean, I never thought I would be at this level in terms of that, but I think I just grabbed the opportunities that was bestowed upon me, that came to me. And you grab them and you move with them. And I want to bring others along on that, because I think that people, sometimes they don't see the opportunities in front of them, or they don't take hold of them. And there will be challenges. Challenges will come. It's not all rosy. You know, you have challenges. You have days that, you know, you wonder where you're really in this. But it's overcoming those challenges and keep moving on, you know.
You said you want to bring others along. How do you intend to do so?
So I've done that. I've tried to counsel others. I've tried to say, look, when their opportunities come, not only me, but you take that opportunity and you run with it. You know, things that come up. I tend to look for opportunities where Barbadians can get involved in scholarships, exhibitions, programs. How do you participate in that? Because I think leaving Barbados and going overseas to attend an event, a competition or something helps to broaden your perspective. So the more you travel, the more you get involved, the more you interact with people across the world, it changes your perspective.
Now being listed as among the world's 500 most influential Muslims for 2026, talk to me about what is now required of you and what you see to be your new horizon to achieve.
More work. No, I don't change anything on myself personally. I think it opens up doors, perhaps, hopefully, that we can do more work and bring more spotlight to Barbados. And I'm hoping through this that you can interact with persons that you've probably not interacted before, that have done a lot of work as well, that you can learn from. There are a lot of community changers and change makers and leaders enlisted, and how do we now bring them on board? And I would like to bring more spotlight onto Barbados in a positive way. We are a country that have a good blend of people, faiths, cultures, and we work together, and we can work even more together. And I think that's what I want to do more of.
Working together is one thing.
Yeah.
What do you think we can do better as a people?
As a people, we can certainly improve on our relationships among each other, certainly build on those. We can seek to understand more of each other. I think in my interactions, sometimes the people don't understand who you're about or what you're about unless you cross that divide and say, look, I want to know more about you. What are you about? What do you do? So I think we can do a lot more of that. Asking the questions, opening the doors and saying, look, I want to learn about you. I'm not just going to be, social media is not only going to inform me, but real life situations is what's going to inform me. I think that's what we need to do more of.
What do you do for fun?
What I do for fun?
Because you always seem so active, so busy.
This is fun for me.
So fun.
This is my fun for me. This is fun for me. This is fun for. I like to go to the beach, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, so we go to the beach.
What's your favorite beach?
Carlisle Bay.
We're gonna look, folks. We're looking for Suleiman Bulbuli or Carlisle Bay. Is there a preferred time of day? Are you a morning person, evening person?
I'm a morning person.
You're a morning person, like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like you. The sun goes down. Let me be in bed somewhere. Let me be at home.
Yeah, true.
And do you have? I know Muslim music is probably the music you like, but do you have a favorite kind of music?
Well, we don't generally listen to music, but I am a Bob Marley fan.
Teach me a little. Oh, you are.
Yes.
So you're not. Your faith doesn't require to generally listen to music when you're Bob. So how did that come about?
From foundation school. Yeah. I remember when Bob Marley passed away, and we were at school. Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine the drama in the house. That this young Muslim, is it a reggae music?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
I don't listen to it. I mean, regularly. I would if I need to, but it's not something I do because
Is that a part of your faith?
For some Muslims, music is considered not something that you should get involved with, especially the Western type of music. Mm-hmm. We do have musical, or we do have tunes and so on. And listening to the Quran is one of the best ways of listening to that poetic rhythm. So listening to the Quran is the best way of getting that feeling and so on. So Quranic recitation, Arabic songs in terms of Quranic and Islamic beliefs and so on is what we would go towards.
You're teaching me today. I had no idea that was part of it.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't listen to secular music, you listen to the Quranic music.
So we listen to Quran recitation, most Muslims would. Right. I mean, there are Muslims that would listen to music, of course. That's found in many parts of the world. And you have their own interpretation of music as well. In Senegal and West Africa, you have Muslim singers who do, from a point of view of cultural and Islamic background, they have that, and they play the drums and the flutes and so on. So that is there. That's part of it. Don't say that it's not part of it. But I would listen to good calypso. Okay. I love good calypso.
Good.
I mean, I love especially the songs that give you good meaning. Not the ones, right? So I don't shy away from that. I would listen to those, but it's not something that I do on a daily basis. If I'm driving in the car and something comes on, maybe I'll listen to it. Yeah, like that.
If Suleiman had the power and Suleiman could, what would Suleiman do?
Oh, that's a hard question. I think I just want a better society in terms of everyone trying to live and work together and cooperate, and it's not just about tolerance. I think that we use a word, we tolerate you. It's not about tolerance. It's about getting to know you, getting to know each other. How do we build a better, healthier society? And as you know, I work in the health space as well, because the health space is as important. Is equally important as a spiritual space, we have to bring the two together. The secular space, how do we bring all of that together to make a better human being? I think that's where my work is going to be. Bringing spiritual wellness, physical wellness, emotional wellness, mental wellness, all of that together to make a better person.
Now you know the man. Now you know why he's one of the world's most influential people in the Muslim faith. And so we congratulate you today, Sulaiman Bulbul.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. And it hasn't even begun. It hasn't even ended. It will not end because this is his faith that guides him indeed. And so that's a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for us to learn more about the Muslim faith and perhaps have a greater tolerance and appreciation for the Muslim faith as well. So thank you so much for coming with us today and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's take a look at the news now. Leaders, change makers, and visionaries are in Barbados connecting, collaborating, and unlocking new opportunities for growth between Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. They're here for the Grow Unite Build Africa Awards Trade and Investment Conference, which kicked off at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Anesta Henry attended. She filed this report.
You spoke about the GUBA conference presents networking and other opportunities for Barbados's private sector and other parties from around the globe interested in fostering growth between Africa, the Caribbean, and the wider diaspora. It comes at a time when local authorities have been encouraging Barbadians to seek out markets other than the U.S. for goods and service, given recent tariff and other trade challenges. The GUBA conference seeks to foster just that. Under the theme Reclaiming Our Atlantic Destiny, Build, Connect, Renew, this series aims to deepen cultural and economic ties between Africa, Barbados, and its regional neighbors. The interactions taking place are intended to cultivate meaningful partnerships in trade, investment, and heritage. That's why Deputy Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw says Barbados fully supports what the goals of the conference are. She says Barbados continues to create a favorable business climate, adhering to international standards that ensure investors and partners can cooperate with confidence. She told the conference attendees transparency, agility, and forward-looking policy initiatives remain guiding principles for government.
Our network of double taxation agreements, Botswana, Mauritius, Seychelles, Rwanda, and Ghana, along with a bilateral investment treaty with Mauritius and a tax information exchange agreement with South Africa, ensures that Barbados is a welcoming and a strategic gateway for African investment into the Americas. Through collaboration with the Afri-Exim investment in infrastructure and strategic partnerships, Barbados is cultivating a thriving environment for business, culture, and innovation.
And Barbados is building the foundation for long-term prosperity that benefit both Africa and the Caribbean.
Barbados is actively engaging its young people, our future leaders, to help us build systems that allow ideas to flourish and to reimagine and construct equitable and prosperous futures. Whether it's in air and shipping links, to strategic cooperation in life sciences, pharmaceuticals, renewable energy, and education, Barbados continues to renew its commitment with Africa.
Contributing to the conversation, Minister of Energy and Business, Senator Lisa Cummins, says she sees the potential for the establishment of an energy infrastructure fund
that allows us to crowd in investment capital that the diaspora, that locals, that African investors can invest in, and those projects would come from south to south, connecting our Atlantic destiny here in the Caribbean and in the African continent.
Beyond its cultural significance, Barbados is also a dynamic hub for business, trade, and investment. Mindful of that, President and Chief Executive Officer of GUBA, Lady Denta Amateng, is extending gratitude to the government for hosting the conference.
Through the GUBA Awards Trade and Investment Conference and the GUBA Foundation, we transform dialogues into development and culture into capital. Our vision is very simple, yet powerful. We ensure that our descendants of Africa, no matter where they live, have a stake in the future of the continent.
The Sold Out Forum ends on Wednesday. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
As the frequency of accidents remains a major headache for authorities, one insurance company is seeking to do something about it. Cooperators General Insurance has exposed its policyholders to defensive driving, holding a training session at the Lauderdale in Sandiford Center. Once again, here's Onesta Henry.
Road collisions have become a common sight on Barbados's roads. Chief Executive Officer of Cooperators General Insurance, Anton Lovell, says over the past 2 years, Cooperators General Insurance have been averaging just over 200 new motor collisions monthly. He says this equates to about 7 accidents daily.
And this is just collisions involving our policyholders. I estimate the national average has to be no less than 15 collisions daily, and I'm being very conservative with that number.
With the rapidly increasing cost of motor claims, Mr. Lovell says that the increasing number of collisions is not sustainable.
The average cost per claim in the recent past was about $6,500. Now we are looking at approximately $10,000 for each collision. So you could do the math.
And Mr. Lovell says he understands some major garages are unable to keep up with repairs to vehicles that were involved in collisions.
For example, if your vehicle is involved in an accident today and you're asking the garage to start repairs, commence repairs, you're unable to do so until next year, January or February.
He says what is noticeable, when these collisions are reported, 95% of them are caused by human error.
Either drivers being distracted, speeding, drunk driving, impatience, inexperienced drivers, inconsiderate drivers. We are not receiving reports of collisions due to mechanical faults, brake failures, steering malfunctioning, the conditions of the road, or collisions due to potholes, which tells me that most of the collisions we are witnessing on our roads are unavoidable.
Lovell says what is happening on the roads is need for reset, for drivers to understand that a vehicle when used recklessly and lawlessly is just like a loaded gun. It can cause damage to property, injury, or death, which unfortunately affect mostly innocent persons.
I must add that the country also needs a more vibrant road safety association.
He says that though not the biggest writer of motor business in Barbados, Cooperators is certainly the most proactive as it relates to road safety messaging and education. The event was held as part of Cooperators General 35th anniversary celebrations as the insurance company seeks to push road safety. Onesta Henry, CBC News.
The Ministry of Educational Transformation is holding on to its bold vision of ensuring every child in Barbados can read competently and confidently by age 7. Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer Bradshaw says this is because every Barbadian child has the right to become a reader. She says this vision is a result of research which shows that children who read for pleasure and are engaged learners, developing strong language skills and perform better academically. Dr. Archer Bradshaw was speaking at Mount Tabor Primary, where the Prince Goodwill do Formosa Foundation Caribbean donated a little library as part of Barbados' Blooming Libraries initiative.
We have done quite a lot of work in education transformation, but I remember having meetings with our Prime Minister and our Minister, and it was said that we must focus more so on ensuring that our students have basic literacy skills. So what you are getting here, the children of Mount Tabor, is a gift to ensure that you receive and develop the best literacy skills.
The Managing Director for Prince Goodwill Formosa Foundation, Anita Saduram, said this is the Foundation's 25th installation of little libraries at 15 community centres and 10 schools. She's thanking Massey Foundation for contributing more than $200,000 to the project.
These small libraries are much more than just a place to pick a book. They're symbols of our collective commitment to nurturing a love for reading in our young ones. It's not only at school, but also at home where we need to make an impact, and also in the communities by giving them access to books. We need to make reading fun and accessible to all. During this partnership, we have installed an all-braille book library at Irving Wilson, given phonics tools to the Alma Parish School, and equipment that we didn't know existed to help reading. So you just have to let us know, and we'll get it for you.
To sports now, defending champions West Terrace continue their unbeaten run in this year's edition of the COB Herman Griffith Primary School's cricket competition after beating Bay Primary by 122 runs. Playing at Dash Valley St. George, West Terrace posted 198 for 3 of their allotted 25 overs, and Mark Goodrich Boyce reports on that first innings.
West Terrace sent into bat Kyrie Wade to Caleb Haynes. That's a drive through the covers, first boundary of the innings. But the first wicket also followed. Kaelan Corbin swing across the line and is struck on the pad. Finger goes up, 36 for 1. West Terrace lost 2 in quick succession. Nathan Hines hitting this ball straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. He goes for 11 off the bowling of Josiah Graham. That wicket brought the informed Neymar Ford to the crease, and boy, what an introduction this was. Over long off for a maximum, leaving this fielder with the simple task of retrieving. Graham again to Ford. This time it's tugged away. Got some help from the misfield, but boundary nevertheless. Ford was on a rampage, taking a liking to Graham's bowling. Boundary after boundary. Caleb Haynes got in on the action, pulling this one away off Jakairo Telius. Ford continued his onslaught here. This shot splitting the fielders 4 more. But Ford went for 1 big shot too many. Lofting this one into the air, and the catch is taken by Matthew Daniel. Big wicket for Bay Primary. Damage already done though. Ford goes for 29. West Terrace 148 for 3. Haynes brought the innings to an end with this boundary as he ended unbeaten on 44, leading West Terrace to 198 for 3. And Mark Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, in reply, Bay Primary were bundled up for just 76. Kaelan Corbin was the pick of the bowlers with credible figures of 6 for 4 from 3 overs, including a beaver trick in his final over. And that's the news. Until now, we'll have more news coming up at 12 noon right here on CBC TV8. Now, before we go to break, can we do this? Can we do this? Yep. I'd like to recognize this young man you see on your screen. His name is Patrick Murray. He's one of our photographers here at the CBC. You may see him out and about on assignment with his camera over his shoulder, capturing images and everything else. And there he is sitting on his chair, lofted high, smiling. Patrick Murray, good morning to you today, and congratulations, it's your birthday. He's a half a century. Yeah, I talk you out. So Patrick, to you indeed, happy 50th birthday today. You only passed there once, my brother. Enjoy it to the fullest. I can tell it's going to be a good day because I've passed it a long time. So enjoy your birthday today, Patrick, as you celebrate Patrick Murray of the CBC, marking 50 today. We're taking a break here, folks. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb, and together we will travel the world.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources. He'll give you the people. Not only will He equip you with ideas, but He will equip you with favor, as He did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV 8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount. Sponsored by...
All right, 19 and a half after 7 o'clock. Time for me to test your knowledge of Bajan proverbs. Time to do so. And of course, that means it's a time for you to win when you give me a call and answer correctly. The number to call, 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's truly see how Bajan you are. We're looking for 59 winners, really and truly. So look at this. Look at your screen. Look at your screen. Can you finish that Bajan proverb? It says, high wind, no. What comes right after? High wind, no. What comes after? Call me now. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's see if you know the answer. Prove to me how Bajan you truly are. Because if you're truly a Bajan, you know, maybe you didn't grow up with your grandmother. If you grew up with your grandmother, you know for sure. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Hi, how do you do?
I'm fine, thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. And who's calling?
Marcia.
Hello, Marcia, where are you watching from?
St. Michael.
Marcia of St. Michael. Are you a Bajan? Really, really?
Yes, please.
What do you think makes you a Bajan?
What makes me...
What is so special about being a Bajan from your perspective?
From my perspective, I would say the way we speak.
So why are you
and the
sounding
way
like a Bajan?
we cook.
Why are you speaking like a Bajan to me, Marcia?
Because I'm a Bajan 100%.
So they sound like a Bajan, nah?
All right, then.
There you go. And so the way we speak is one of the reasons you think defines us as a Bajan, and the way we cook.
Yes, please.
So how does a Bajan cook differently from how a Kittitian cooks?
A Bajan cooks with a lot of herbs and so on.
Bajans use a lot of herbs.
Yes,
and so on. So our foods are more flavorful?
Absolutely.
And so have you traveled the region?
No, I haven't.
You've never been to any of our regional neighbors?
No, thank you.
So then you don't know what their food tastes like?
No.
Hello? See what I tell you, Marcia? So how could you tell me then, therefore, that Bajans use a lot of herbs and you don't yet know what the other people use?
But I can only speak for Bajans.
Right, I know that, but you told me that the Bajans' food has in more herbs, which suggests to me that the other foods do not have in as many herbs. That's what I get. Am I wrong?
But I won't say that the other foods don't have herbs. I would say they're having herbs too.
Okay. All right, Marcia, let me save you.
More sure about always.
Do you eat conkeys?
Absolutely.
Do you love conkeys?
I do.
Do you make conkeys?
Yes, please.
Do you plan to make conkeys this month?
I am making all the time.
What do you mean? You sell conkeys?
I do.
Oh, so you make them all year long?
Well, coming down like around June. I start from around June, July.
So for the last half of the year or so, you do conkeys?
Yes, please.
How do you do it? Is it dry or mellow and nice and...
Mellow.
I could taste it, girl. I could taste it already. You use the coconut leaf or do you use foil?
No, banana leaf.
I thought it would trick you when I said the coconut leaf. I thought it would have tricked you. So the banana leaves are what you use. And you have a banana tree growing in your property also?
No, I don't.
So where do you get your banana leaves from?
I just have to source them from my family in St. Andrew.
Oh, so you go into St. Andrew and ask a question, right?
Yes, please.
I know, you don't just go cut people's leaves. You ask a
No,
question.
I don't.
Right, so, all right, fair enough. Do you think you know the answer? High wind, no?
High wind, no, where all house is.
Where what? Where what?
High wind, no, where all house is.
Before I tell you whether you're right or wrong, What do you think what you've just said to me means?
I would say it means like people just, I'm going to explain it in my way.
Okay.
I would say how we know how old house is, people just know who to interfere with. That's how I get think it. Strictly be a judge.
Are you an old house?
Pardon me?
Do people interfere with you? All right, don't laugh at me, Marcia. Are you an old house, yes or no? Shame on us, though. Can we reveal the answer? Let's let Marcia get off the hook.
I just keep quiet.
Marcia, look, you're absolutely right. Old house, old highway, know where old house live. Fair enough, Marcia. Here?
Thank you.
You stay on the line. Don't put down. Don't put down because we need to get some more information from you. We have something delicious and delightful to give to you for Independence 59, and we want to wish you only the very best today and happy independence. Who does? Bring a sample of your conky and let me be the judge of how really good you are at conkies. And I'll tell you why I say that, because I love conkies. I can tell you what a good conky from a bad conky. So bring the conky to me, Marcia. All right, folks, we're coming back in just a moment.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV 8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
27 minutes now after 7 o'clock this Tuesday morning, and we are thrilled to be able to sit now across from me with the Barbados Consul General of Barbados in New York, Lorenzo Herwood. He's home for just a little while, and so good morning to you.
Good morning, Pearson. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Welcome home, first of all.
Thank you.
You've been home for a little while now?
No, from Saturday. We came in with JetBlue's 10th anniversary flight from Boston.
How was that?
Fantastic. It was thrilling to be at the gates in Boston, showcasing the ladies in the feathers, highlighting Barbados' best cuisine as well, offering food to the guests coming down. It was fantastic, and equally as fantastic when we landed at BGI.
You probably couldn't wait to get away from the cold, right?
Yes. I love my job, by the way, but yes.
I'm not saying that. How did you find yourself in the position you are now as Barbados Consul General in New York?
If I want to give you the short route, a call was made, a question was asked, and I said yes. If you want to go the lengthier route, which is more content, I think technically the Prime Minister wanted, and the Minister wanted to have a bit of a paradigm shift in terms of how we engage the diaspora, in terms of how we engage commercial diplomacy. And one of the most fantastic things is that they wanted not only to quantify the resources we have, but to qualify it. So one of the most significant things we've started, is building a database of the diaspora up there across the jurisdiction. So we're looking at knowing their skill sets, knowing their interests, and utilizing those skill sets and interests to add value to Barbadians here, and Barbadians even up in the States as well.
Using data?
Using data, yeah.
Capturing.
Using data, yeah.
Did it scare you when they got the call? Did you think, oh my gosh, my Prime Minister, me?
No. It didn't scare me when I got the call. It was quite interesting, lots of thoughts going through your head. I am grounded at home. I've grown up all my life here in Barbados. I always take the opportunity when I'm on camera, I may not do it today, to hail out Sears Court, where I came from. But it didn't scare me at all. It was a challenge that I thought was necessary, not only for me professionally, but personally, to be in a different environment. Here, Barbadian accent, 4,000 kilometers and so away. But the truth is that the community out there, it is just Barbados, an expansion of Barbados. The same people in the watering holes talking about cocoa and flying fish, who has lumps, who using it, using the machines and stuff. And even most recently, having a debate about persons using the microwave to make cocoa. But it's really a Barbados outside of Barbados, and they are following everything that we're doing down here, and they have equal passion as if they were still on the island.
Take me back a bit further now. Sears Court is where you're from.
For sure.
And so growing up in a space like Sears Court, what were some of the values do you think that you live with still today?
Well, Sears Court for me always felt like one big backyard. Compared to today, it's quite different because there are a couple of new faces and new perspectives, generally not only in Sears Court, across Barbados, but it felt like one big backyard. Case in point, December next month, many years ago, we'd be looking forward to running from house to house, eating ham at everybody's house that could muster up a response. We'd be looking forward to walking up to Inchmarda. Don't hold me to this. And some persons would decide to pluck the Christmas lights from other persons' fences. And back then I had the lights where if you pluck out one, all of them would go off. I, of course, observed and walked on by because I don't understand why people do such a thing. But nonetheless, it was fantastic. But it felt really good back in Sears Court. It felt like one big backyard, to be quite honest. It is a rural community, as you know. So the visual of persons running around barefoot, cocks and chickens on top of the roofs, persons roasting breadfruit on weekend, and I totally loved it. I would never wish for a different upbringing, to be quite honest.
I understand that as a rural fellow myself, born in St. Lucie, and having gone through that barefooted, doing some of the things that you used to do, running around bareback, as we would say, with hard back, oh man, me running around bareback, and it was fun. It was truly fun.
Of course.
But it taught you a lot about entrepreneurship. It taught you a lot about respect for elders.
Of course.
And all of those things, and those are values with which you still live today.
Of course.
And so your trajectory led from Sears Court, you went obviously school. What school was it?
Great Shirt Foundation School. No,
right.
and I
can celebrate that now because my godson goes there now. Only because he goes there that I can forgive you. But and naturally, what did that do for you, the Christchurch Foundation?
Well, before I get here, let me tell you that when it comes to schools and stuff, I've told the diaspora when I went up, it doesn't really matter which school you've gone to. What matters is that we understand that every school that was built started at the foundation. It doesn't matter. But going to school,
all pun intended.
Going to school at foundation was it was really good. It was never a school in my time recognized to be too far left or too far to the right in terms of how persons put them on tiers, which I don't. We had persons from all across the spectrum of Barbadian society. I remember Major Hugh Barker, who was a very solid principal by virtue of the things he instilled in us. Most of us only appreciated the things he did when we left the school. But foundation was very good. I was very much active in athletics, very much active in other extracurricular activities, but it was a really balanced school, if I could use one word to describe it. Foundation has given me a lot. I hope that in the near future, it can give foundation way more than it has given me. But just to encourage students, I want to engage them a bit more, encourage them to recognize that it doesn't really matter which part of the class you sit. Because I know back in the days, perhaps prior to me, there was always this perspective of the position inside the classroom you sit is kind of indicative of the interest, the level that you had. I remember one time in 4th form telling myself, I don't feel that these children smarter than me. And I just decided I'll just pay more emphasis on mathematics in 3rd form, and 4th form. And I passed the CXC, and it was accepted to do advanced maths. No, I didn't. Afterwards, you're younger, you're thinking you're competitively in terms of who's brighter, who's not brighter and stuff. At this age, looking back and reflecting on it, all of the students were very intelligent. Everyone in my class was intelligent regardless of where they sat. But it was just me kind of wanting to break this spirit of, where you sit is indicative of perhaps where you will be in the future. It certainly didn't turn out that way, to be honest.
And you're right. I didn't sit at the front. I was one of the brightest. Dare I say. I sat somewhere in the middle. And because that's where it was most comfortable, nevertheless. But nonetheless, we all learned.
Of course.
And so Christchurch Foundation helped to shape you. If any of your teachers watching you now would say, I remember Lorenzo, he was really good at, what do you think that at would be?
Well, those would be two persons. One person that definitely comes to mind would be Miss Pigot. Miss Pigot is known to be my favorite teacher. God bless her soul. I don't know if she's listening, but you know, she is my mom away from school. Many of the teachers I hold in high regard. Mr. Strong, in terms of the athletics and the athletics program, Mr. Strong is a pillar who has sent. I still call him Mr. Strong. I don't call him Seabird. Who's helped many a student to advance. But I think Miss Pigot could tell you that I had a love for history, and I sometimes had wayward approaches to some of my classes. But when it came to history, I sat like an angel and listened to Miss Pigot. I listened to everything she said because I always appreciate things that came before me. Always appreciate it, whether you're talking about the Arawaks and the Caribs, the history of the transatlantic slave trade. It always captivated me on a school level, but also personally. So I always think back, even when I go home to Sears Court, like the persons who went through Sears Court before me. And interesting, Pierce, one of the persons I met when I went in New York, a lady by the name of Sandra Chase, came and told me, you know, I'm from Sears Court. I'm like, which part of Sears Court? And she said, you wouldn't know the part because you weren't born then. So she let me know that, you know, Sears Court I knew it had one lime kiln, which was to the east of the community, closest between skills training. But then she gave me a history of there being two lime kilns, one that is further by Nazarene School. Knowing very well they were used after Janet to rebuild the infrastructure. Sears Court came as a result of Janet when it hit back in the 50s, and that community was built as a result of that. I had some more history in terms of knowing that the Skills Training Center, it used to be more of an agricultural center where the Chinese first experimented with growing rice, where they had 7-pod peanuts and stuff. So that type of history resonates with me. The one thing about Sears Court that, apart from all the changes that are happening, that I regret is the disappearance of the climate cherry tree. Where many a young boy on a Saturday would go and roast the breadfruit, claim the trees just for the sake of claiming trees. There was a different sense of security back then, a different sense of community back then, and everyone was a brother and sister regardless of whose house you came from.
And that climate cherry stuck kites, stuck books, stuck everything.
Correct.
So I know the climate cherry for sure. And so this love of history, how has that shaped your global view? Because now the role that you play requires you to have a broader understanding and appreciation of so much more.
It has shaped my global view, and when I think about the global appreciation that I have, I know I'm probably going to shout out so many people, but none has instilled that appreciation for what is happening outside of Barbados than my aunt Melva Yard. So at some point in college, I lived up in St. Philip with my aunt Melva Yard, and one of the things that my aunt used to do is when I'm watching television, she literally would not turn off the TV, switch it to BBC News religiously. I mean, it started with a bit of a scuffle in terms of me getting up and going to my bedroom. But at some point, you can't sit in bedroom and do nothing. Have to come out and probably sit down and stuff. And then I found myself waking up on mornings knowing very well what the routine was. And I started to switch to BBC News. Then, of course, it's Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox, and everything happening. She took it a step further to now come and engage me on topics that were happening on the news to find out, you know, where my train of thought was. She was actually the first person that told me, Lorenzo, you need to get out of this country. And it is not get out because you're running from the country, but she always had this perspective that, you know, there's a large world out there because she worked outside of Barbados. And I can see significantly, even being outside now, and even traveling in my early days, because I also worked at the UN, mainly on a regional project, how getting out can significantly benefit by coming back, not thinking that outside is better, but thinking that there's some things that can add value. And even there are some things here that can add value out there. So it really gives you a well-rounded perspective in terms of development.
And so you've developed yourself in such a way that you were picked to be in the Senate.
Yes.
I remember your contributions in the Senate because I'm one of those who pays attention to what's going on in Barbados as well. And so that honor to be referred to as his honor in the Senate.
Yes.
What did that mean to you the day you got the call up to be a senator?
That was fantastic. Amongst the hundreds of messages and calls that came through instantaneously, for me, it just kind of reflected on where I was when I got the call, which is at my home in Sears Court. And I could not get the call in any better location. For me, it meant that, you don't judge a book by the cover. You don't predetermine one's destiny based on where they came from, and certainly you don't not take advantage of the resources that are around you, and you don't determine resources based on where people came from. I was very honored by the call from the Prime Minister. She basically told me to go and do my best, and I think that it kind of energized persons who live in the community around me. Some younger persons that I hardly, I shout, but I don't have lengthy conversations with in the community. The show said, "Senator, what's going on, Senator?" Some still call me Senator. But for me, it was really projecting a bit of a milestone and a template upon which they can see that they can achieve anything. I grew up with my mum, who worked in Oyston's Fish Market as a fish vendor for many years. And for me, we didn't have the world of things, but I never felt poor. The truth is, we always had something to eat. We didn't always have money to buy something to eat, but we always had something to eat. And it was a household filled with love. And that is the truth. In a rural community, you always have a little bit of squabbles and stuff. But it was a very strong upbringing, and I never felt any way about it. So to consider that trajectory, I thought about my mum. Wherever I go, I take her fish boning competition trophy that she got from Shell that used to be across the road at Oyston's one point. So that is a pillar for me and a sense of pride, and it's something that I'm looking forward to adding value to my community at some point, hopefully in the near future. Yeah.
So standing in the Senate chamber, the highest house in Barbados, owning your spot, owning your place, having your thoughts and being able to express those thoughts freely among other intellectuals who sat around that oval table for you, it prepared you, no doubt, for the next stage of your life, which was to become the honorary consul.
For sure. That was a huge preparation in terms of understanding how to collate dialogues on serious topics, many of them serious enough to determine how you're going to prosecute certain aspects of Barbadian society in terms of the law, how we are going to diversify the economy, how we are going to set a pathway for the future of Barbados to continue. And for me, I've just been shifted from one area of representation in terms of the Senate to another area of representation where those dialogues can continue. I would say that being a Consul General is a bit more hands-on now, because as opposed to just being in the Senate, processing verbally what you want to process in terms of adding value, I'm literally on the ground meeting stakeholders as well, persons who are interested in doing business in Barbados, extending their Bajan businesses up in the States, and also speaking to some of the younger persons who want to capitalize on their heritage in Barbados.
We'll talk about your journey and your time in New York right after this break. We're sitting with Barbados Honorary Consul to New York, the Consul General of Barbados in New York. Got to get it right. Lorenzo here. We'll be back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons which will surprise many is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end. and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at Mornin Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're talking with Consul General of Barbados in New York, Lorenzo Herwood. He's with us this morning. He's on home with a short visit. And yes, he's had his trip into oysters. Yes, he's had his fish. Yes, he's done all those kinds of things. And so the little boy from Sayers Court finds himself now as the Consul General of Barbados in New York. Not just doing paperwork, but a whole lot more. But I'm wondering, Consul General, what is a typical day like for you?
A typical day is not a typical day for me. It is not 9 to 4 where you sit behind a desk and do any monotonous thing. It ranges because the office focuses, yes, on the conventional, well-known activities in terms of passport, citizenship, visas, but it also ranges into specific programs to project our culture in the jurisdiction, to engage the diaspora on many topics of interest, and then to find business, what some persons term commercial diplomacy, but to find business for Barbados, for Barbadians up there, and Barbadians here as well. So it's not typical, and also the states that we cover, Rhode Island, we cover Vermont, Connecticut, we cover Pennsylvania, we cover New Jersey, we cover, of course, New York, we cover Michigan, we cover quite a number of states, so it's not just New York. And how you approach business, let's say in New Jersey, is not the same way you approach business in New York. So it is constituted by lots of discussions, lots of interviews, lots of in-person requests at the level, maybe sometimes the governor, sometimes the mayor of different cities, and then also lots of interaction with the diaspora in terms of what they want to see in terms of the representation of Barbados' culture and Barbados' business environment up there.
I want to hear about day one. You arrived in New York, taking up residency, and suddenly all of this is on your plate. Talk to me about day one and what it felt like to be the Consul General of Barbados in New York and see the awesome responsibility that you have.
Day one was in February, so what I felt was extreme cold. What I felt was extreme cold, and I don't have enough insulation on the top of my head to keep me. But the first thing I did when I went into the office, and before I had a full appreciation for everything, I had the view that someone was here before me. And I had the view that there are persons in the office who were here before me. So the very first thing we did on day one was to take a group photo. I would have published it on different media streams. We have a picture in the office with regards to it as well. And that was to signal to me that whatever is to come my way is not going to come at me alone. There are many persons behind the scene that you often don't hear about. Everybody will know the Consul General. But you know, well, recently I have a deputy now, but there are admin assistants behind the scene. There are consuls, there are vice consuls behind the scene. And these are really the persons holding up the office and allowing me the opportunity to innovate and expand the program. So day one was very casual for me, very, very welcoming, because I wanted to find out about the staff that I'm going to be working with and working through to execute the work of the government. And that made it very easy to recognize that the Consul General and the work that I do and the office is a projection of the persons in the office. So it was very calm.
We're showing those pictures on the screen as we talk here, folks. You know,
oh boy.
all of the moments as we take your journey through with you.
Yes.
But then you had to find the way to not just process passports and all the other documents and the like, but to activate the whole mission of Barbados, to get out there to seek out business and all the rest of it, strategizing. What's the strategy plan so that you're able to do all of that?
So it was 2024. One of the greatest strategies that I recognize is to put yourself out there and people will come to you. It has happened. We established a Facebook page, a LinkedIn page, an Instagram page, and every single thing that I do, Pearson, almost everything I do, I post it. I post it for multiple reasons. In 2024, you cannot not have a presence online, digitally. And also, my job is no secret. This is the taxpayers' money. They must know and they must see the benefit of the value instilled in me in terms of whatever you call a salary. They must see what I'm doing. They must see what the consulate is achieving, and I document everything. So it goes twofold in documenting and showcasing to Barbadians here and abroad, all over the world, what I'm doing. I also have a lot of persons reaching out to me via LinkedIn, via Facebook. One person reached out and wanted to do a floriculture project. And as a result of that, that would have been last year, August 2024. As a result of that, we're now exploring the expansion of cultivating a major project here in Barbados. We had 32 kilograms of roses, about 680 varieties shipped down here to test the impact on the flight from Kenya to England down here. So that is someone I reached out all the way from Kenya, investor from New York, and it happens that way. So my strategy was to capitalize on the online presence, hit the ground in terms of literally meeting persons, flying out meeting persons, driving out meeting persons face to face, introducing myself, letting them know what my focus is going to be, and also utilizing the staff around me to tell me what came before me so that I don't end up reinventing the wheel where infrastructure is already in place. So a combination of all three of these strategies made it very easy, and I find that more persons reach out to me than me having to go and reach out to them. Just before he came down here, I saw an email introducing superintendent of schools in New York, introducing himself to me and telling me basically he wants to send some students down here next year. And he saw the stuff that we were doing with the Sister City Agreement in New York, and he saw it online and stuff. When I went to the Liquid Gold this weekend, a lady walked up to me and asked me if I am who I am. I confirmed. She wants to get some products from a well-established firm down here into New York, and she wants me to help showcase it. So it is working both ends. Yeah.
And that's fantastic. Getting into those spaces, because I've seen you show up at churches online, at those kinds of things, where the Barbadian community is, you are there, and other communities as well, rubbing shoulders, so to speak.
Of course.
Independence.
Yep.
Before you get to independence, what's the message of Barbados that you share? Because yes, they ask you, where's Barbados? What's that about? What then do you say?
Well, they don't ask where it is now.
No, they got it now.
They got it for sure.
But what do you say about Barbados?
But the message of Barbados is that we're open for business. We are open for business. I am specifically focused or more focused on the commercial aspect of our engagement. My Deputy Consul General, she's focused on reassuring the diaspora, engaging them, having that list that we can capitalize on the qualities of our diaspora. But I tell them we're open for business. That also includes open for cultural engagements. We're open for you to look at your resources and see if it fits into the general development goals of Barbados. But we're open for business. I want persons to know that the island is relatively small, but we have a lot of tickers. The highest uptake of solar and solar PV across this side of the region, highest uptake of electrical vehicles this side of the region, a very expansive network of water distribution, a very expansive network of internet uptake, to let them know that the infrastructure is in place, stable economy, no significant issues in terms of transition from government to government. It is almost like what some persons figure to be a developed country within a developing space. So we're open to business, and we can do many things.
And doing many things means celebrating our milestones as we go. So, of course, let's talk about what you guys are doing to mark independence on November 30th.
Yes, so we're marking November, not only November 30th. We started from the beginning of November. Philadelphia was the first across the jurisdiction to do their flag raising at the City Hall in Philadelphia. We also will have, for the first time in the history of the consulate, I think we're going to have 3 galas happening on the same day at the same time. I use a bit of moral suasion because they used to hold it different days. But I use a bit of moral suasion because after the 59th, 56th, and I wanted this to be a bit of a precursor to what is to come for 2026. So I told them I'll hold it the same. I suggested that they hold it the same day, hold it the same time. Because Barbadians up there and down here are going to reflect on the fact that there's a lot of Barbados to spread up in America, up in the northeast of America. And they will also know that there's a lot of Barbados to go around as well. So they're not going to disadvantage each other. One is going to be held in Boston, and that is going to have Edwin Yearwood is going to be featuring there. One is going to be held in New York. That's going to have RPB and Rasaili. And then one is going to be held in Hartford, Connecticut. Lots of Bajans out there. And that is going to have, amongst other persons, I believe it's going to be Mikey, Peter Ram, TC, and about 4 other headliners going to come up there. Connecticut takes the creme de la creme of the celebrations in terms of the quantity, but certainly quality across all 3 of them is going to be significant. Now, when you think about all of those persons we're bringing up there in North America, you know that there's a lot of representation, a lot of demand up there. Next year, we're hoping also to have some other artists, particularly some younger artists. I had the pleasure of meeting Ms. Tion Hernandez the other day, and she is a very positive, very positive mindset person, and we're looking to bring persons like that also to kind of diversify the mix as well, particularly for next year. So we have flag raising ceremonies going on in Boston. When I get back, I have to go to Boston for the 21st. We also have flag raising in New York. We're going to have a flag raising next year in Connecticut. Hopefully we can have the lighting ceremony. Well, that's coming for the 60th, sorry. So we're going to celebrate the 59th and then get into the 60th. But we're also starting planning in alignment to the Prime Minister's desires. From December the 1st, we're going to start celebrating the 60th anniversary, as she has very well articulated the reasons why. Road to 60. You know, we have we call it a togetherness series, and we're going to align it with the Road to 60 to ensure that what is happening down here is aligned. But a bit of a deviation, which will complement what the Prime Minister is doing, is that we're going to have a theme for every single month. At this point, you know, December is going to be Together We Dine, focusing on all things in terms of culinary aspects and food in Barbados. We're going to have, for instance, one of the activities in Connecticut, we're going to have a nice 3-course meal, all Bajan's cooking. You're going to have the starters, the main, as well as the desserts. So if your starters are like fish cakes, then the person is going to have a discussion about how to do fish cakes. Hopefully, in true Bajan fashion, the discussion turns into an argument. Of course. Because some people like the fish cake pulled thin, some people like to bite the chunk, some people like a little bit of pepper, some don't like it. So we're going to ask them to present, have a discussion around it. The same thing with the mains, you know, you have your rice and peas. Some persons prefer more peas than rice. And then you have your dessert. If it is black cake, some persons prefer to have that black cake in the freezer for 4 years. Some want to do it on the fly. For 4 years. So it's not only about eating food and seeing food, is discussing these things, and hopefully we can have someone to put some jug on the table and then give a description about how they're doing it. More talk about it.
Listen, there is so much you're doing. I am so thrilled by this, indeed, and I just keep us posted. My time is taken away from me so very quickly, indeed. But your favorite food in New York is?
Panera sauce.
Panera sauce. And you find it where?
Canarsie.
There you go. With some good old mobby and everything else, right?
Oh yes.
Good Bajan man, good Bajan man. For all of our viewers who are living in the Tri-State area, those of you, listen, this is the man. This is Barbados Consul General in New York, Lorenzo Herod. Reach out and keep abreast of all that's happening. For those Bajans overseas, is there a calendar, a space where we can see all of the list of activities that you're talking about as well?
For sure, they're always posted on the Facebook page, Mark Consulate General. Right. We have a LinkedIn page, we have an Instagram page, and we post all of the posters. So when you go on, you're going to see the same posters from Connecticut, Boston, as well as New York, and you see all the activities coming up. If you want to follow my personal Facebook page, which is more catered towards my activities and representing what I do, you can do that as well, because I still post the same things.
Yeah. Roosevelt Bacco Corbin says, good morning, Consul General Lorenzo. Morning to you, sir. Right. Indeed, and so you see they're watching, they're listening, they're paying attention. Share the news, share the news. He's ready to do business with you, indeed. So thank you so much for joining us. Wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And safe trip back up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories.
Morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
What a day indeed. I'm full. I am full. I'm hoping that you are as well. So full enough to come back and join us again tomorrow morning. My little crew joins me wishing all of you a terrific today. Be it the will of the Lord. We'll see you bright and early 6 o'clock tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning.